Good god damn, everyone. It's been a while since my last video. I think it came out in July. So it's been about, 2 months, and I know a couple of you have been asking me where I've been. I've just been busy and lazy, and yeah, that's it. But I'm making videos again. I'm gonna start hopefully getting back to the grind. I've been, working on some other things. But I really wanted to make a video. This is all unscripted, by the way, if you couldn't fucking tell. I wanted to make a video about the ending of Dragonball Z Abridged, because that ended, and I thought it was super fucking awesome and cool, and I have some mixed feelings on it. All still good things, but I have the most unpopular opinion out there right now, that I've seen at least. So that's what this video is going to be about. So, let's just hop right into it. Dragon Ball Z Abridged should just be over, right? Like, everything that they did over the course of however many years, I think it's been, 12 now, right? Yeah, I think they started in 2006? No, they didn't. I don't remember when they started, but it's been such a long time, and every arc that they started, every plot thread, every, character interaction, little detail things, everything just seemed to be over. Like, it's all done, right? But they're still continuing with a part 4, which I'm not upset about. Obviously, I love this show to death, and I want it to keep going, but everything just seems done to me. There's a lot of things in Dragon Ball Z Abridged that I feel go underappreciated, just about how long it's been going and how many different things that they just kept putting in there. The dodge joke ends here. Like, Piccolo finally, Gohan finally learns Piccolo's lesson of dodging. Like, that's over now. Like, what else do I have to look forward to? Fuck, man, I don't know. But the whole concept behind, Goku's character and Gohan's character to some extent, Piccolo's character gets resolved, Vegeta's character gets mostly resolved, and it's cut short, but, Tien's, and Yamcha and Krillin, all their characters are kind of, left in a neat bundle. You don't really get a lot of it, but it's there, so I don't see what they're gonna keep doing with them. Granted, they're not really in the Buu arc all that much, but they're there. So, I want to talk about some of the characters, especially Goku and Gohan, because, first of all, I think Goku has officially become my favorite character now. With just the way his Keikaku came together in this arc, and it's a lot of fun, and he gets some real great moments. There are a couple of moments that legitimately made me shiver, but from the beginning, his whole plan was he's the one, who made Cell think about his own mortality, basically, and how he's gonna die. And he says, Cell wouldn't pass up a chance to craft his own legacy, which is why Cell holds, the Cell games to begin with, because he doesn't want to die and have no one remember him. But what Goku had kind of admits to himself, and to everybody else, is that he's going to die too. And he wants somebody there to protect the planet when he's gone. Death is gonna stick. So, not only having Gohan to be that person to protect the planet once he's gone, but also Gohan is Goku's legacy. He is his son. So, the champion of the world, Goku, Son Goku, is leaving behind his son, his own flesh and blood, as his legacy to protect the planet. It's symbolism. And there's just a lot of little details that Goku has, especially in part 1, that really flesh out his character to the nth degree, as far as they could possibly push it. He says that he's treated his plan to make Gohan fight Cell and get stronger. He treats his plan like a fight, like everything else in his life. And he's open enough to admit that he doesn't know how to deal with anything else except fighting, so he treats everything like a fight. So that's why, I mean, it takes real maturity to admit something like that, especially when Goku is kind of the king of idiots around in the Dragon Ball Z universe, and especially in part 1 and part 2. There's a lot of depth and emotion added to his character, and just short, simple dialogue between him and Gohan and him and Piccolo especially, but it's there, and it's great. My first Dragon Ball Z Abridged video, I talked about his faith that he puts into his friends, and how it gets him into trouble sometimes because, everything just sort of works out, but if it doesn't, then they just all fucking die. But here, his faith in Gohan really bites him in the ass because, as they discussed in the video, the most glaring character flaw that he had, besides, being an idiot, is the faith that he puts in his friends. But, with the final 3 episodes, or I should say 3 parts, it's just episode 60, it's shifted. His most important character flaw is shifted from, putting faith into his friends to not being a caring enough father. Piccolo shouts at him and berates him because he doesn't even know what Gohan likes. I have to give, so much credit to the voice actor for Goku, Masako X, I think his name is, just for, the subtlety and the nuance that he puts into Goku's voice. His line where he says, I guess I should go clean up my mess in part 2, it gets me. It makes my heart sink. It's so fantastic. He blames himself not only for Gohan not killing Cell right away, but also for allowing Cell to transform in the first place. He says so himself. He says to Piccolo, like, if me and Gohan went into the time chamber first, Cell would have been killed right away. There wouldn't have been anything, but his whole plan was to make Gohan stronger, and the only way to do that is by letting him fight Perfect Cell. And so while his plan comes to fruition, it ultimately backfires. And he has to go clean up his mess, and it's a great, fantastic line. And then, keep going with that scene, and the line where he says, fighting is what makes me happy, is absolutely beautiful. Finally, it's kind of this reconciliation with his son that you don't really get out of Goku and the Abridged. I mean, you don't really get a lot of, mature moments out of Goku, and this takes the cake. I don't know if you guys remember, but in my video before, I said that my favorite Goku moment, at least one of my favorites, was the death of Vegeta, where he legitimately feels sad and is grieving over Vegeta, and he gives him a proper burial, and it's played up for jokes a couple seconds later by Frieza, but it really is a touching moment. But this moment with Gohan where he teleports Cell away, it takes the fucking cake. And I've heard that a lot of the guys who write it, Kaiser Neko, Landy Pator, they were really fighting for a couple emotional moments in part 60, or episode 60, I should say. And I hope that was one of them, because it really got me. It really, really got me. Now, continuing on from Goku, we have fucking the best villain in the series in Cell. Oh my god. The final Cell confrontation is absolutely brilliant. Just the way, he goes from calm and collected to, forcing out Gohan's inner rage and creating the Cell Juniors, to realizing that he absolutely fucked up, to him admitting that he kind of has Gohan's explosive personality, and it's all great fun. And when he comes back and the final the final Kamehameha where he's singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. It's, oh my god. It's perfect. It is literally the perfect death for Cell. And I don't think it could have been done any better than what they did. Cell as a character has been so, not changed from his original, but he's so much more interesting now that seeing him almost have a sympathetic death where he's, you know, because the song My Way is all about, you know, through whatever happened and through all the shit that I've gone through, the good and the bad times, you know, I did it all my way, the way I wanted to do it. And it's perfect for Cell because, you know, even though he goes around and he's basically a psychopath, killing and absorbing people, he lived his life the way he wanted to. Sexually repressed, I should say. If you want to hear me talk more about Cell, I did it in my first video a lot, but let me talk about a character that I didn't talk about in my first video, that being Gohan. So, Gohan is is a really weird character for me because in the original, he's my favorite character, but in the Abridged series, I kind of don't really know what to say about him. His arc, he didn't really have one for the most of the series, besides, you know, the whole him realizing that he has repressed feelings about his dad. It's, you know, it's fine, it's funny a lot of the times, but I didn't really have a lot to say on it. Now that he has so much focus put onto him in episode 60, I have something to say about him, but I don't know if it's right or not, I should say. I don't know if, I couldn't tell if what I got out of it was what they were going for. And it, you know, Gohan being a coward it kind of just comes out of nowhere, right? Like through most of the series, he's not a coward. He's actively going out and fighting people. He goes to Namek willingly to get the Dragon Balls with Krillin. So like that's not really being a coward. I mean, they have to work within the source material, but it's just it feels really out of left field for me. if anything, I feel like, you know, the transformation scene, fucking spot on. They fucking nailed it. But the reason why he transforms is, you know, it doesn't feel right. You know, in the original, he ends up fighting Cell because, you know, he has no other option. His whole bout with Cell was him trying to learn that, you know, some people just can't be reasoned with. And when they can't be reasoned with, you have to take action and protect the things that you care about. But here, you know, 16 just kind of tells him off and says that he's a coward in the most amazing fashion, I should say. I love that 16 speech, but for Gohan as a character, I didn't get it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're trying to emphasize how much of a child he is. You know, like he's an academic genius, but when it comes to fighting, he's just like a scared little kid. And I don't mind that aspect of his character. It all just seems a little forced to me. You know, they kind of make up for it, though, when he transforms, because he is just the baddest ass kicker ever. And they realize that, and they go full on into it. The line, you know, he says, "I'm not done ripping the wings off of this butterfly." Absolutely fucking fantastic. I couldn't love it anymore. And, you know, by the end of it all, Gohan, you know, has come to terms with himself and his dad, and it really is a great way to wrap up episode 60, which, again, going back to this point, I don't know if they can top what they've done here. I honestly don't. I mean, how dare I say it? They're probably gonna put out the Boo Saga and completely show me up and fucking say, haha, we did it. But I feel like it was such a strong ending that if it ended here, it makes the most sense. It doesn't make any sense to me, at least, to keep going because everything is done. The most, you know, I'm looking forward to, at least, is Vegeta's character arc. You know, Piccolo kind of makes fun of him for, you know, screaming the "my baby boy" line, but you know, it really goes to show how far he's come from, you know, the badass, take no shit, I'm the best guy ever, to, you know, I care deeply about my son. And, you know, the whole flipping off scene where Trunks and Vegeta flip each other off, that's fucking fantastic. But, you know, in the Buu saga, his original character arc is all about his family and how he's trying to run away from it now, from his Saiyan pride, and he's now embracing what he was before, but then, you know, he comes to kill himself because he realizes, you know, I want to protect my family. So, you know, I don't really know what they could do differently to make his character more impactful, besides him being, you know, ridiculously funny, as he always is. But I feel like there's a shot at the end where, you know, everybody flies away and Piccolo makes fun of him. And he's like, oh, we're going to go revive your baby boy. And, you know, Vegeta is just standing there alone. And he has the look on his face of grief. Like, you know, my son is dead. And I feel like that's kind of all you need. I don't really feel like you need to go any further into that. The complete turnaround of his character is one that, you know, I appreciate, but whether or not that I need to see it keep going is another thing, because then you might just start, you know, repeating the same cycle of things that you've done. And granted, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough for me to appreciate and be like, oh yeah, he's changed. But, you know, besides that, I'm really excited for what they do with Mr. Satan. You know, I love the little mini character arc that he had where, you know, it's all bravado and he has no place in the Cell games to, you know, I'm hiking up my big boy pants, I'm going out there, I'm tossing 16's head in front of Gohan because that's all I can do. Even, you know, he even goes as far to admit that he doesn't know what the fuck is going on anymore. And, you know, he kind of fucking throws it all away to be like, oh, I was the one who defeated Cell. But, you know, that's just funny. It's in his character. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for Mr. Satan and Vegeta, at least. What they're gonna do with the other characters, I couldn't tell you. You know, Piccolo is there a little bit, but he's not a super big part of the Buu saga. Maybe I'm remembering it not as well as the other arcs because I don't remember the Buu saga all that well, but, you know, he trains Gotenks, and that's kind of it. You know, he gets taken out really early by Deborah when he gets turned to stone, but other than that, it's like, what the fuck does he do? What other huge moments are there for Piccolo? You know, his arc is now complete. He has a room on the lookout. And if you saw my video before, you'd know that his whole arc was about him, you know, finding friends and finding not even necessarily a place to live, but just finding a place where he can be at peace with himself. And, you know, he has his kind of group now, you know, Dende, Nail, Kami, even Mr. Popo, you know, they're all fucking up there. So where else are you gonna go with him? You know, Krillin is not a very big part of the Buu saga, but he's there. I guess seeing what ends up happening with him in 18 could be interesting. Tien and Yamcha, they don't really have a place in the Buu saga, so they're, you know, their characters are kind of just out there. Gohan is an adult, I guess. That's cool. Videl is coming. You know, Supreme Kai and Elder Kai are coming. Buu is coming. Gotenks is coming. That'll be fun, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with them. But, you know, outside of the Buu saga, the original Buu saga, what can you do with them? You know, there are some obvious twists on some characters that I think, you know, you can really sell. Especially like Mr. Satan. You know, it was pretty obvious that they were just going to ramp his character up to 10 in the Cell saga. But, you know, in the Buu saga, what can you do? I don't know, maybe it just seems like I don't have a lot of faith in Team 4-Star, but I am honestly, genuinely confused on what they could possibly do. And how many more years are they going to keep working on this? At the time of this recording, Kaiser Neko has already said that it's very unlikely that they're going to do Dragon Ball, and they're straight up not doing Super or GT. So what can happen? I don't know, but I'm willing to wait and see. If anything else, I'll be excited for Vegeta and Videl. Videl is great. I don't know what they're gonna do with her. I'll stay excited for the Buu saga, when it eventually comes out in maybe next year, I guess. But yeah, I'm I'm having a real hard time because everything in this episode 60 wrapped up pretty fucking well, guys. I have to fucking congratulate them. They have parodied one of the greatest shonen anime of all time and have given it such a breath of fresh air. And I really appreciate it, and I know all their fans do. And I know that all of the voice actors put in as much work as they possibly can, and all of the writers put in as much work as they possibly can, and their editors, as much as I feel like people don't talk about them, they are doing as best of a job as they possibly can, putting in all these little details, especially that flipping off part at the very end with Vegeta and Trunks. It's fucking fantastic. And I can't praise it enough. And even what little criticisms I have, it doesn't ruin the episode for me. It doesn't ruin any of the parts. All of them are really strong, and I greatly appreciate what they've done. I love it. That's all I got for now. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Like this video if you liked this unscripted version of a video that I'm just trying now. And I promise I'll be making more shit soon, so just please stay excited. That's all I got. Love and peace, everyone.